Welcome back to the Lone Ranger Real Estate Show and Lone Ranger Show for real estate, mortgages, whatever you want to talk about, whatever you want to know about. We talk about buying, selling homes, how to save money when it comes to investing in real estate. We're going to talk a little bit about insurance. Citizens is now claiming to be raising their rates, potentially double the amount. And I think that is it was inevitable. We're going to talk about your taxes are due, your property taxes are due. And if you have an escrow shortage, what do you do with an escrow shortage? Also, a lot of changes with condominiums right now. Condominiums, very popular for a certain segment of the market. Maybe you don't want a lot of maintenance, but there are things that you need to know about condominiums. And we want to talk about that because it's going to make it more challenging for people to be able to buy or sell condominiums based on the changes that have happened. And we're going to cover that. Some classes that I've got going on. I've got a condominium class for realtors so they understand the new guidelines and rules that have come into play. That's going to be on November 30th. It'll be Zoom at 11 o'clock. You can join me. Go to webringyouhome.com. That's webringyouhome.com. Also, I will be sponsoring an event for real estate agents called Maneuvering in a Distressed Market. I have brought in Tina Valiant. She's a national real estate trainer and coach, and she will be training on December 5th from 10 to 12, and that will be in Orlando. So at Sile Insurance. So if you'd like to attend that and you're in real estate, you won't want to miss it. I have with me one of my all-time friends, a great real estate agent in the market. His name is Kyle Madorin. And Kyle, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Bruce. Pleasure to be here. I am excited to join you today.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you. I've known Kyle for, 10 years, maybe,
10
close
years,
to it.
That's right.
He's got his own brokerage called Upwell Realty. And so he's here in the Central Florida market, and you specialize, I think, mostly in like Lake Nona, or where are you?
So I live in Lake Nona. I would do a lot of work in that neck of the woods. My office is actually downtown Orlando, right off of Colonial there, north side of downtown. And we work within about a 30-mile radius of downtown. So the whole metro area, basically. And also out on the Space Coast a bit, because from Lake Nona, you can scoot over to Cape Canaveral pretty quick.
Wedgefield has been very popular. And then we've got Space Force, and we've got Elon Musk stuff going on over there. Rockets flying up 2 or 3 times a week.
It is an exciting time.
What an opportunity to be in the real estate market here, right?
Absolutely. I think there's a lot of people looking at that as kind of a resurgence since the shuttle program had shut down. It was kind of in decline there. And now all of a sudden there's all this excitement again. It's nice.
Praise the Lord for that. So listen, I really love having Kyle on here. So I want to talk a little bit about what you are seeing in the market. So you've actually had a really good year in 2023. I'm glad to hear that. Mortgage business nationally is down 40%. I think I'm down about 20% from 2018 production. I don't count 2020, 2021 in production because that was a heyday. I mean, we did so well during that era, but I don't think that that's a typical market.
I agree with you. Yeah, right? That was an abnormality. We're probably never going to see rates that low again in our lifetime.
I don't think we will. Yeah. I really don't think we will. Rates right now hovering in the mid 7s. Rates have come down a little bit. I mean, we were pushing toward the 8s. Now we're coming down a little bit. Are you seeing any more activity in the market?
Definitely. So we gauge online activity closely. We watch clicks and how many searches are being done, how many of our customers are actually looking at properties again. We have definitely seen an uptick recently.
Well, that's fantastic. I like that, but we see more inventory on the market. Are you seeing sellers maybe being more amenable to paying closing costs and entertain buy downs?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I think they're starting to realize the changing landscape is here to stay. Things have changed. They're not going to go back to the way they were. Everyone has to change their perspective a little bit to achieve their goals. And I think sellers are realizing
Don't you think it's more of a normal market? I mean, like I heard a realtor go, "Oh, I'm getting nervous. My house has been on the market for 3 weeks." I'm like, Listen,
That's not that bad.
that 3
Yeah,
weeks. That's not bad. I mean,
right.
45 days was in a normal market is
Yep.
not even unheard of.
Right.
But they were so used to COVID when they were getting 15 offers on the day that it hit the market.
Yep.
And that's just not happening right now.
You're absolutely right. Yeah. So, they say that a neutral market is 6 months of inventory, and we're
Right.
at 3 months now. So we're still in a seller's market. So
Isn't it interesting though, even though we are in a seller's market, because that's what we base our inventory level on.
mhm.
But how often have you ever seen, I've never seen this before in 35 years in business, where we are in a seller's market, but buyers have a lot of control because
Yeah.
sellers now realize that, hey, look at, there's less buyers out there because of interest rates. So I'm going to have to be more aggressive on my sales strategy.
Absolutely. I think the experience that sellers had over the last few years where it was, I mean, you could list the property and get 20 offers on it the first weekend. I think that made people think about the market in a weird way. That almost became the expectation.
Right.
And now that it's not, they're like, well, something's wrong, that it's not selling that fast. And so sellers, I think, have to go through this evolution of, okay, it's okay if the house sits for
Sure.
3 weeks, 5 weeks. It's normal. When I first started, which was about 10 years ago when we first met, it was normal for us to sign year-long listing agreements. I mean, that was pretty much the norm.
Yes.
And that went away. And now I think we're starting to have to realize houses are going to sit a little bit longer before selling. And strategic pricing is very important. And I think property valuation is something that all agents need to do a better job with and be able to explain to sellers why the value is where it is, show them the data so that they can see it. It's not just you can throw out any price and feel like buyers are going to come. It's not the way it works anymore.
Well, that's why Kyle is successful, because he does that for his clients. Kyle, how would somebody reach you?
Yeah, so our website is a great place. It's upwellrealty.com. And so you can check us out there. But also our office number, we answer the phone 24/7. It's 407-926-9960.
Yep. And I can always connect you with Kyle and his team. You can reach me now at 407-706-3313. I have loan officers on call all weekend. Call me 407-706-3313, or you can start your application online. Go to webringyouhome.com. That's webringyouhome.com. We can take care of you right now. If you're out selling property or listing property today and you have a buyer that you'd like to get pre-approved, all you have to do is send them over to us. I have loan officers on call all weekend and throughout the holidays. I love having Kyle here. He is the true professional. Like when you look at Kyle, he didn't show up in shorts and flip-flops. He didn't get into real estate because it's a great gig to do because you need flexible time. I don't think Kyle has flexible time. I think that your time is highly managed.
Yeah, my wife would agree with you.
Yes. Wouldn't she though? So you've been selling real estate, for 10 years?
That's right, 10 years.
How long ago did you start your brokerage?
3 years ago, a little bit less than that.
Okay.
Upwell Realty started. And it started during the pandemic, really, because I realized the industry was changing. I wanted to create a brokerage that was focused on exceptional customer service and make that our cornerstone, because I felt like with the way things were going with all the evolution of technology, the information that's available to people online these days, it's not enough to just be there holding someone's hand. You have to be someone who's providing value. They have to trust you. You have to make sure that you are providing the type of service that they can't find anywhere else. That was our goal.
Well, and I think that separates you and sets you apart as being one of the elite agents in Central Florida. And that is because you take your business seriously. I mean, you're not just putting a sign in the yard and praying that some other agent stops by and brings a buyer to you. You're constantly out working to find buyers, but you're also assisting your sellers in properly staging your property. And I don't necessarily mean professional furniture staging. I mean placing that house and having them fix the things and decluttering a home and maybe saying, hey, we could use a little paint on the outside of this house, and getting that curb appeal up to the maximum amount so you can get the best price.
We certainly do that. And we also do whole home staging as well.
Yeah.
So my wife is a certified professional home stager. So it's nice to have that connection.
Absolutely. Yep. So you would typically do that if you had a vacant home though, right? You're not pulling furniture out, I guess, unless you have grandma's couch in the middle of the family room, and the dogs have been laying on it for the last 15 years.
Right. So we'll do occupied home staging in those cases where we work with them to maybe thin out what's in the house right now, make it as appealing as we can make it, both in photography and for buyers walking through the property when they show it. And so that is an art in and of itself. And so my wife does that as well. And I'm lucky enough, I've learned a little bit from her. So we've got a great team in place to help with basically every step of the process.
That's fantastic. Again, Kyle, how would they reach you?
Yeah, upwellrealty.com. So it's UPWELL realty.com, or 407-926-9960.
Thank you. And if you'd like to reach the Lone Ranger, CrossCountry Mortgage, Bruce Woodburn. I've been in the mortgage business for 35 years. I have closed tens of thousands of transactions, and I'm going strong, and I'm right here in your neck of the woods. I am top 1% in the country. I don't tell you that to brag. I just tell you that others have been there before you, and I am there to make sure that we provide a level of service that is unmatched in the mortgage industry. That means personal attention to you and your family and your needs and what's most important to you, available during the week, after hours, on weekends. I mean, we're negotiating transactions generally after hours on weekends, right? So if you can't get a hold of a lender, that could be a problem for you, right?
Absolutely. And I have to say, we are very appreciative as realtors that you're such an advocate for people in the industry, because it's not easy. You know, people look at it and may think, oh, it's a great gig.
You're
It's
not a
easy.
glorified
Right.
taxi driver,
That's
right? Is that right?
That's right.
Yeah. No, you know what? You hire somebody like Kyle because you want a true consummate professional in the industry, and that's what he brings to the table. And that his wife is an interior designer or decorator, you can bring a lot to the table when it comes to staging that property and getting the right price for it. We also want to talk about insurance. I understand that Citizens Insurance is looking at a double-digit rates hike approved for Citizens Insurance. You know, I thought because we brought back some of these insurance carriers that we were going to see a bit of a break in insurance, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen.
It's a shame, because Citizens used to be sort of the place you'd go when you couldn't get coverage anywhere else. You know, that
Right.
was kind of the safe haven. And now, if that's out of financial reach for many people, it's going to create a lot of problems in the lending world. I know that you're going to have to deal
I
with.
think we need to get some things handled in our legislation. There's got to be some control. And I think personally, like when I look at it, I believe that most of the fault lies on the insurance companies themselves and the industry going to public adjusters that are taking over the claims for people. People think that it's a roofer that's knocking on your door, but it's really a public adjuster, and they're just going to rake you over the table.
Yeah.
I don't believe in hiring those companies. Believe me, if you need a roofer, call me. I'll connect you to a roofer. Also, you know, it's the time of season where we're coming into the holiday season, Christmas or Hanukkah, whatever you decide to celebrate. And rather than giving, you know, all these, you know, gifts of things that aren't important, why not the gift of helping somebody become a homeowner? If you have a family member that's renting right now, don't complain about a 7.5% interest rate. They're paying 100%, or maybe they're living at your house. Maybe it's your son, your 30-year-old son and his girlfriend and their two kids living at your house. Cough up a little money, call the Lone Ranger. I'll connect you with Kyle. We'll help you go find a house and get these turkeys out of the oven and
That sounds
into
like the
their own
best
house.
holiday gift you could give, right?
It's the best. I mean, come on. What are you going to do? Give some pajamas and socks and maybe a George Foreman grill or something? Who needs that, right?
That's right. Hey,
I
I
mean,
agree.
Right. So, all right. So you can call the Lone Ranger right now at 407-706-3313. That's 407-706-3313. Go to my website and apply now at webringyouhome.com. One more time, Kyle Madorin from Upwell Realty. What is that phone number?
It's 407-926-9960.
We'll be back in 5 minutes with more of the Lone Ranger Radio Show with Bruce Woodburn, CrossCountry Mortgage, webringyouhome.com, 407-706-3313. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back in 5.